what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. No car. We're gonna have to go get the Lotus. It is so cold, but as the title says, we're gonna be fixing my Lotus Exige, my fourth Lotus I've had with an OEM part number. Look at this. So this is gonna be a Toyota part that fixes a Lotus. How fun is that? Let's go get the Lotus and bring it in here. We're gonna move the FRS. The Lotus is out there. Brought the Exige back in. And we're gonna be using a OEM Toyota coolant reservoir. I actually went on the Lotus parts. They had the same reservoir. It was $380. And then I went to Toyota and found the part number. And this was $97. That's crazy. So the markup was 400% for a coolant reservoir. I actually just installed one of these on my MR2 Spider before I sold it. It's a good thing that you can do every now and then for $100 if it decides to fail. As you can see, this is gonna match. This is the original one that came with Lotus. It actually had a little sticker here, but look, this little bracket broke right here. It was a 10mm, and then over here is maybe an 8mm, and it broke as well. What happened was I was driving and steam literally started shooting out of this plastic right here onto, you can see it right here. Look at this, this is coolant. Oh my gosh, yeah, and making a mess. And so I was like, oh crap. And so what it was it just got hot and cold and hot and cold. And the truth be told is that this is exposed to sun and the elements because it's just mesh on the Exige, therefore it definitely wore out sooner. So what we're gonna do is fix my Lotus Exige with an OEM part number from Toyota. How crazy and affordable and awesome. I mean, if this was a Ferrari part, it would probably be even way more. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get a 10mm, get this loose right here, do an 8mm, and then before, because there is still coolant in it, I am actually gonna siphon the coolant out because I don't wanna make a mess and just put coolant down in this engine bay here. So I'll get a little bit of a siphon and siphon the rest of the coolant out of that. Okay, so I siphoned out, or I used a little pump, the coolant in this old broken reservoir. You're gonna wanna use a couple clamps here to pull this right here, and then there'll be a one where it fills on the bottom. And then also we're gonna wanna remove this. I think you can just do lefty-loosey, and then it should come out. But you can see that there's no more pink in there. They call it Asian coolant, but we're gonna refill it back up. This is Super Tech, this is cheap stuff, but it works. It's ready to use antifreeze. Okay, no more coolant reservoir. This little piece of plastic broke off from the original one. And then, what I was telling you guys where it was leaking from, it's probably gonna be a mess here, and make sure it doesn't drain, is right here, where is it? Right there, it's gone. The whole thing broke off. This is where it was leaking from. Why did Toyota not make that all? It's actually plastic. Real quick here. Oh, this one's not. This one has a little metal retainer in it. But it's actually broke off inside of here. So we're gonna have to yank that out right there. You guys see that? That's where it was leaking from, very obvious. So we're just gonna use a little bit of pliers, hold these two close, and then yank that thing out of there. Okay, so coolant reservoirs over there. I did come back here and clean that mass airflow since they're a good idea. We're gonna be doing plugs on here. Will I do an intake for this? Maybe. Why? Well, because I kind of want to just do a supercharger. This is really easy to work on. I mean, the whole thing is right here. We'll see what I do. I may or may not. You know, I spent a lot of time on this thing in one of these engine bays on my Lotus ELISE Turbo, so we'll see if I want to go deep into it. I kind of want like an EVORA now, or something else, but and I might just leave this NA. But supercharger would be an easy install and be a good idea, so we should probably do it. But I did clean the mass airflow sensor, and now we're gonna have a beautiful new reservoir. So this does have a little hole right here that it sits in, and we're gonna connect the lower one first, which is the fat one right there. And then we'll do the two upper ones. Yeah, significantly better. It actually looks way more aesthetic and more modern. If I were to buy that car, or this car, and I were to see that, I would know that the car is taken care of and actually looks good by having that new reservoir. So that does make it look more aesthetic, especially if I go to a car meet or something like that. It makes the car look newer. This car only has 20,000 miles on it. It's crazy, 20,000 miles on it, awesome. I bought it with 17,000, so I've already put 3,000 something on it, like 3,000, or maybe I'll probably put like 5,000 on it actually. I think it has 21,000 now. That being said, let's go ahead and put some of this coolant in here. Just get the pink stuff. It doesn't need to be the most expensive. The pink stuff, easy pour. We're gonna get a little funnel and put it in there. And what we'll do is we'll turn the car on. So we'll turn the, we'll open that up and then bleed it a little bit. There shouldn't be too many air bubbles because we didn't really drain that much, and the water pump wasn't going, so it should just be fine, to be honest. So now that we have a coolant here, we're gonna actually leave the expansion tank cap off, and we're gonna let some bubbles come out of it. So we'll start the vehicle, let it run for about 10-15 minutes, and then put the cap back on. And if, you know, honestly, you could even leave it overnight and all the air would come out if there was. That's probably a good idea, so you don't even have to do it. We'll probably just wrap the video and I'll put this on tomorrow. I did overfill it a little bit, so it might burble a little bit. And I might need to step just a little bit back out, but let's turn the car back on, or turn the car on and have that done. But there we go, nice, easy how-to. I'm so thankful that this is a Toyota part. I mean, $400 or $380 versus 90 bucks. Come on, let's go. That's a nice win. Okay, so the Exige is on. There is so put the cap on here, and then there's a little bleeder valve right here, and then you can actually squeeze, since I put a little bit too much in it. And then if it does overpressure, it does have a little drain over here. But you can squeeze this main plug right here and it'll move it along quicker. And so we'll just run that along. And then what's happening is you're trying to have it where there's no bubbles coming through here. And there's still a little bit of bubbles there. So it's coming from the very top and then went back in. So once we have that bleed for a little bit, we'll be done with it. And that's how you fix it. And then someone tell me this, my driver's side headlight, the low beam is, turns on sometimes and then it turns off sometimes. So it has a mind of its own. I'm not sure if it's a loose connection, but you know, I keep on taking it all the way off and then putting it back on and it fixes it. So, I mean, these lights are amazing. I love them when they're on, but for some reason, this one right here, it's intermittent, meaning it's on. Sometimes it works fine and sometimes it doesn't. I think I might have hit a bump and the connection's not that tight, so I should probably have that tightened. And I already did it. I just don't want to take the lamp off again. It just takes a lot of work. So the headlights are stupid. They're not. It's complicated to get a headlight. Anyways, let's go ahead and let this thing bleed a little bit. I'll get a little microfiber up there and I'll wrap up this video. But that's pretty much, that's how you do it. It's pretty cool to have a Toyota engine in a Lotus. I mean, that's why everyone talks about it. This is a prime example. Lotus. I have a video about how much I dislike Lotus, and I'm on my 4th one, and I want another one. Lotus is lots of trouble, usually serious. This one was lots of trouble, super affordable, which I'm really happy with. So make sure to like, subscribe, swingmymixture.com. Come back for a lot more of this amazing content.